jump out of my mind. Shoot straight into me, babe. Cupid's arrow into you, babe. Slow as we go on this gray, all this gray life side is so gray. I just wanna love you. I wanna love you. I only want you.
Yo, chill, Rashawn. Chill. You too loud right now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20 something years.
I always tell people, like, compared DMB to now to when I first started, and I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, we're at the very end, and then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Charleston night 2. Thank you, Jeremy Fleming, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Rain on Tony C, I see you in the chat. What up? Hit that like button, folks. What up, what up? It's your boy Conservative 34. We are in Low Country, Charleston, South Carolina. So shout out to Charleston, South Carolina. Come on, y'all know the vibes. Shout out to Hootie and Blowfish. It's Saturday night, folks. You should be hyped. We're going to have our first guest on in just a second. Shout out to all of South Carolina except Clemson and South Carolina Gamecocks fans. College of Charleston, you good in my book. But we don't like them Gamecocks up here or Clemson Tigers. All right, I'll stop messing around. We're going to get started here in just a moment. We're going to bring on our first guest. Let's pull up the set list. This was definitely an interesting show. Tony C said he saw him in 19. I've never seen Hootie, but I saw Darius Rucker at the Houston Rodeo when I was working in my StubHub days, working at the Houston Rodeo for StubHub. And he was awesome. Obviously, his Hootie stuff is better, I think, than his country stuff. But talented band, Hootie and the Blowfish, and Darius Rucker is just a talented artist who created a solo career after Hootie kind of broke up and things did not pan out for that band. Although they came back, right? But he is from South Carolina and he calls South Carolina home. So um, this is the set list. Let's slide it over a little bit. What we're gonna do is we have two guests from yesterday going to be on, just like yesterday. We're gonna lead off with Joe from Charleston. He is not originally from Charleston, but he's down there um, for the shows. So let me just bring him on here. How you doing?
Marcus, how are you?
I'm doing well. Tell us about night two in Charleston.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. And on behalf of everyone listening, we all love what you do. You fill a void, and it's important to all of us who are big fans. And I know it's a lot of work for you, and I just can't thank you enough.
I appreciate the kind words.
So, you original quick thoughts on the set list tonight. Um, I can't deviate from what I said last night. A 2 night stand's tough because it's 2 days in a row, and you can't play stuff back to back. And unfortunately, if I could be honest, if you only went to one show, clearly night one was better.
Okay.
But when you look at the catalog, like there was some really good stuff tonight. I think the band pulled some trickery out of the gate. Like I really thought that we're going to start with. I'm looking at. I took some notes for you tonight. I thought it was going to be funny the way it is, and that they switched it up and they were tricky with that with minarets and that girl is you. So look, I like when they keep you on your toes and you're like, I think I know what it is, and then they kind of switch it up, and that was good. But the first part of the set list tonight for me, um, I'm not saying I didn't love it because it's all good, but it was slow. It was a slow start, and I don't know if you agree with that from the couch tour or not.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Granny and You Might Die Trying, it just, and I know they played One Sweet World, but the beginning of this, when I looked at the first seven songs, it just was like, uh, and then Walk Around the Moon, I like that song. But then after that, from Walk Around the Moon until you get to Break for It, the middle part of the show on the set list, I was just like, it didn't look good. It was
Nah.
underwhelming. How was the middle part of this
Well,
show?
it's funny because like remember last night we talked and we said, oh hey, there were no bathroom breaks tonight, and
Right.
those two songs, She and Walk Around the Moon. I got the feeling tonight there weren't as many like hardcore fans, and people were running for the bathrooms on those two songs, and I was kind of like, huh, like we didn't see that last night. So
Hmm.
like recognizably, that was different. Um, but hey, we got Granny, and there's some spots where you look and say you can get 4 or 5 songs and say it was worth it, and that was one that broke up the beginning and that made me say I'm happy to be here tonight.
Right. Yeah, that's a great. It's always a great song. It's probably to me one of the best happy songs. Now there are some great happy, but like some of the happier songs on the catalog can get cheesy. But Granny, it doesn't matter. Whenever it's played, it just makes me happy, and it brings
Yep.
energy, the chants, and the love, the baby. Like it really gets the crowd flowing. Now you have the middle of the set. You have some of the stuff. I personally don't like She. I think it's a bad
Well,
take as
interesting story tonight because I thought this was cool because Dave, and I know you've been to a lot of shows. Maybe you've heard this before, and I never have, and I thought it was great. But when Dave introduced the song, he says, "Hey, when we put this track down without words," he's like, "My better half was in the studio, and she started dancing." And he's like, and that's when I got the words for the song. So I was like, wow, that was new to me. And, it sounds like that song's about his wife. And look, man, we love Dave and we want to think that he's an honorable guy. And, it actually made me a bit proud to hear him say that that song's about his wife. And I'd not heard that before. And I like all that stuff. And we all like the Dave speak. And I felt like he was being a bit vulnerable tonight telling us that story.
Yeah, I've never heard that. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool that
yeah,
he's.
it was really cool. I wish I caught it on video. I always do my best, like in between songs, to capture a video of like the in between because that's when you get good day speak. But that made me feel good to be a part of that tonight because I'd not heard that before, and I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You'll love this. Um, right about then, the guy next to me said, "Where's Leroy?" And I was kind of like, "Oh my god!" Like, when's the last time you saw Dave Matthews? So, on the one hand, I was like, "Ah, it's good to see people coming back,"
Yeah.
and I I told him, I said, "Hey, I don't want to let you down, but the guy playing keyboards isn't Boyd Tinsley, so we might need to have a conversation here."
That wow. And I think what's interesting about that is for the local fans, the local music fans, perhaps a Friday night they just want to get home to their family, and a Saturday night is a night where they just have nothing to, they want to go out, they want to be entertained. So maybe that's why there were more casual fans tonight, given that it's a weekend show. Versus a Friday night, you're going to get the hardcore fans maybe coming out more. They're going to be the ones going through Friday night traffic. Perhaps that's why.
Yeah,
Case.
potentially. I will say I did see the so much. Anyone seen the bridge into too much? We knew we were going to get that run tonight, and again, it's not one of those things I don't like. But it's funny. For as long as we've listened to this band and followed them, that's the one stretch that's always been predictable. And on a night two where they didn't play it on night one, I was like, we're going to get it, and that fell right after that, and I kind of saw that coming.
Gotcha. And obviously, it's Stefan's birthday, and the bass, and anyone seeing the bridge is, that's his special.
Kind of his song, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the crowd was pretty respectful about singing happy birthday to him a few times. And, you know, um, respectfully, he's not my favorite, but he's part of the band, always has been. And everyone gave him much love tonight. Um, I will say this. So a lot of people don't like the Jimmy thing, and we usually get a lot of runs after it, whether it be sexy or, a lot of the outros they've done, Back in Black, whatnot. But again, I will say that the outros tonight were really tight and really good. And that was a spot where they didn't do the typical play there. And it was good. I don't think I recorded it, but I'd encourage listeners to go see if anyone did and post it. It was tight. It was good. And it was different than what we're used to hearing. And it was more pure than we're used to getting. And it was good.
Now, did he introduce the band during Jimmy thing?
He didn't. And again, I was like, so I don't know if it's just kind of the connection, but usually I follow along when I'm there, try to figure out where we are in the numbers. And I was trying to figure out where we were, how far we were to the end. And he didn't do the typical, like, Stefan on the bass, the horns, Carter. Like, he kind of pointed to those guys, but didn't go into the normal, hey, these are my guys. And it confused me a little about where we were in the set list.
Gotcha. Yeah, he had been doing that, especially this year. There was, that was part of what we heard. Now, talk about Break For It. What did you think about this song? It's the fifth time this year, a rare song. What did you think of that song after Jimmy thing?
Yeah. So I thought of you this morning, and I was doing a little homework on Almanac, and I was like, wow. So we've got about 65 songs this year, and about 7% of them have played 5 times or more. That was one of them. I was hoping for it because, frankly, of all the new songs, like, that's one that I really like. I mean, I think it's a good song. They played it. I was glad to hear it. Sounded tight, and it was a good spot for it. A little late in the set, but nonetheless good. And then we went into, I think, Warehouse from there. I don't know. You have it up in front. I probably don't.
So it was Break For It, Tripping Billy's, Come On, Nancy's, Warehouse. So Warehouse was at a couple songs
Yeah.
down.
I mean, that was a good closer. And I think even if they were soft fans, hard fans, like, it was well done. It was a good set closer. They played really hard. They looked to have a lot of fun tonight. Um, in spite of the fact where I just say, hey, this seemed a little quiet of a set. At the end of the day, you go to a show, there's one thing I always hope for, and it was worth the trip and worth for night two, which is let's talk about the closer. I mean, a 2-set closer, you don't get that every day, and that was spot on money. They were tight, they were jamming, and it's always been one of my favorites. And the song I hope to get as a closer, it was really good tonight. Really good.
That's awesome here. And tell us about so Come On, Come On. It's the first time it's played since 2018. It's a Come Tomorrow song. What did you think of that song coming back?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. When I think of all the albums, my favorite two is Away from the World. I don't know why. I just really like that album. And I think that, that Come On, Come On, that whole album, I loved it. It's one I listen to regularly, and it's a great song. And you just, anything from there, I'll take. I was hoping for Idea of You. Thought we might get that tonight, but I'll take anything from that album. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I didn't hear the actual version of it, but I listened at the beginning of the show. I played one of the older versions. I think it's a great song. It was actually part of the Batson sessions, and they didn't release it till Come Tomorrow. I Live, it's hit or miss. I think I've only heard it twice, but the first time I heard it, it didn't really feel like it lived up to the album because the album version's amazing. Another
Yeah,
time I heard it, it did sound solid. So I'm
that's
kind of like
fair.
I'm 50, but I'd rather. I mean, if there is something played from Come Tomorrow, if that's the only song in a set list that's played from Come Tomorrow, I'm fine with that. Um,
Yeah, it was. So in retrospect of the album, I'd have to go look and see how many times I heard it live. I thought it was really good tonight. Like, it's funny, what are we, like 12 shows into the tour?
this is show number 10.
10.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, Dave's voice tonight, he seemed spot on. There was no bad stretches where you're like, ooh, that didn't sound so good. And I know, I think, like, from listening on the Friday nights, early in the show, he struggles a little bit. And he was great. I mean, he was really on, in spite of having, you know, asymptomatic symptoms or anything like that. Like, you think about the respiratory things that could affect him. He was really good tonight. His voice was on. And I find that to be a bit surprising this early in the show.
Gotcha. No, that's great to hear. Though his voice sounded great. So we get to the encore. It's rye whiskey and two step. What did you think?
I love the rye whiskey. I heard it first out in Berkeley. It had to be around 2012, maybe. And for me, that's a song most fans don't know. You know the story about Pete Seeger, and I think he tells it quite a bit. But look, that's a great one. I mean, that and the John Denver song. It's not coming to me right now. Sorry, I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Take Me to Tomorrow.
Yeah, those two are kind of two of my favorite Dave solo songs because they're not normal ones. But that was a great. I thought we were going to get Sister, quite frankly, and when he started with that one, I was like, I'll take it all day. So that was great. Did I lose you?
Oh yeah, we can still hear you.
All right, good.
So one of the things that was talked about here is on social media is there were 5 Come Tomorrow songs. This is the most Come Tomorrow songs in a while at that length. So it's almost like this was a Come Tomorrow tour stop. What did you think of that dominating? I know you said you liked the album. What did you think about Come Tomorrow dominating the show?
Again, like it's you don't get those every day. I think we're all used to kind of the same stuff they played. That's a great album. And anytime you can get that stuff from those guys, I'll take it. I like different, right? Like, give me something different. Don't give me the same old stuff all day. And I thought that was a pretty good addition tonight. Like I said, overall, it was kind of a slow night, but when you look at the catalog over 2 nights, it was a good show. I mean, that's a good 2 day stop. Others might not feel the same way, and that's what happens.
Gotcha. So, yeah, that was definitely one of the things that stood out to me. And as you walk away from this weekend, what's your overall feeling about going down and make the trip to come to Charleston?
So again, I will say, um, if that becomes a regular stop, everybody should consider it as a good spot on the tour. Charleston's a great city. There's a lot to do there. Good history. That venue is very, very, very intimate. We were stage right tonight, fourth row, and like any seat in that house is better than anything you and I are used to back east. Um, like you can't go wrong anywhere in that place. Even if you're general admission in the like level 300s, way better than going to Mansfield, Hartford, SPAC. Um, a great stop. I'm happy I made the trek. Um, I'm really looking forward to Mansfield. I'm hoping you'll be there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be there. Actually, I was talking to a buddy. We made carpool down there, so I'll definitely be at Mansfield and
Are
Hartford.
you in the pit? Where are you? Night one.
I'm behind the soundboard, which I actually a spot I like. So I'm behind the soundboard by a couple of rows.
We're
Yeah, so.
we're in the pit for Hartford, for Mansfield. Good seats in Hartford. Are you going to Hartford too?
Yep, I'll be. That's where I do have picks.
Yeah.
So
So we'll have to connect. Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, I'm pretty excited. This first stop on the tour for me. Good show. Jen liked it. I think she probably concurred. Night one was a pretty epic night, and that's a tough thing to like. You just wake up in the morning and go, "There's just no way they can do better than last night." Um, it's funny. Jen's first tour in a while was Mansfield last year, and I said, "Hey,
Right.
they usually mail it in there like it's not a great set list." And I remember looking at me halfway through the show saying, "Not a great set list at Mansfield." So who knows? Maybe we'll be blown away. But for me, Hartford has always been one of the best stops on the tour, and I think we're in for a couple of great shows in a couple of weeks here. So
So
I'm excited. The band sounds phenomenal. Like they are just really locked in, better than I've seen in a long time. And if you have tickets, be really excited. I think you're in for a good time.
yeah, I would say I think Mohegan Sun they actually have so the first I've been to every Mohegan Sun show. The first show in 2012 was a little bit of it had He and that was it. But the Mohegan show in 2018 had Stone into say goodbye into the Stone, a sweet emotion, a kill the king. That
I
was the
love that. That's one of my
so
favorite songs.
that was the second show, and then the two shows last year
We're great.
were awesome. So I think
They were fire.
the first Mohegan show was it was that was my second show ever. That was okay. But Mohegan had some great shows. But Hartford definitely the environment is better. Just overall, the tailgating and the crowd is just more. It's summertime, so I think that Hartford just has a unique environment, and it has an environment where you're literally in the middle of the city. You're not like you could walk from downtown Hartford to the show.
Yeah.
So
I,
it'd
I
be great.
I'm with you. I'm super hopeful that there's a fall tour and we get Mohegan again. I mean, that's one based on last year. I would do whatever I could do to get there. And I'd be curious, like, what's your take on Charleston? You saw 2 nights from the couch. Like, any thoughts?
I think the biggest thing to me is night one had the better songs and the better energy. Night two seemed, I think the biggest thing with night two, if you threw in a Stone or Pig to this set, it takes it to the next level.
Yeah, I was really hoping
Stone,
for big tonight. I will say, you know, I love the Hub app, and those guys do a great job. I wish we could comment on like people that post show reviews because somebody gave it. He said the band wasn't kind of lame tonight or something like that, and I was like, how do you make that comment?
Well,
It's just people just sometimes I'm like, why? Like, where does that come from? Last night was great, and to be that way just seems disingenuous. And I don't know if the band looks at that stuff anymore or not, but like that's just not fair. And if I could have retorted that comment, I'd have been like, you're out of your mind.
so listen, Ants. I'm on Ants. I was on Ants today. I was on a couple hours ago. For some reason, Ants marching. There were people complaining about Shotgun, and I've never seen like I've seen some wild takes, but like overall, the fan base on Ants, which is the most extreme. It's the college football form. Like you think about crazy like a or the Boston. I know you're a Celtics fan. The diehard Boston or diehard New York
How
fan.
about them Celtics, baby?
Yeah, they're up 1-0. But you think
Yeah,
about the craziest of the fans, the 1% of the 1% of the 1% that complain about everything. Ants marching is like that, right? You'll have like
yeah.
a great season, right, by a sports team in the Northeast, and you always have that one fan who's like, "Oh, they should have did this.
Uh,
Oh,
it's
they
it's
didn't win
wrong,
a
and we
championship."
talked about this last night. Like it's for me, like you're not a fan, right? Like I don't want to hear about 1996 or 1998. Like that was a long time ago. This band's better than they were then. Like they're older, and what they do is it's better today. And I just somebody that goes to the show and feels the need to put them down, like it's just discouraging. And in my mind, like just go away. Don't go anymore if that's how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean that's really. And again, I have there's stuff I don't like there's certain songs, but to be mad at a show where you have Shotgun and to be mad at Shotgun, it's just I think it's the message boards have a in all walks of life, sports, other cultural topics. There's always somebody who's going to be upset, and I just don't see how you could walk away. I could see how today someone who may have hoped for a Stone, a Lion Our Graves, a Pig, a something, just one song, one more song that was radically like a game breaker, a say goodbye. But I just don't see how you walk away yesterday in Charleston. This isn't even like you said. This is a new stop on the tour. Today you had a lot of casuals. I just don't see how you could walk away and be mad at a show that had Shaka.
Again, look at the collective 2 night stop. Like, look at all the songs over 2 nights. You
Mhm.
got Shotgun, right? We did get Lion in the Hand as God. You got a lot of good stuff. Rye Whiskey tonight. Got Granny. You got Two Step as a closer. Last night was fire. 27. Like collectively, you can't ask for much more. And in my mind, like I'm excited. I'm psyched. I still have 6 to 8 more stops this year, and I'm looking forward to it. And I won't lie. I mean, I like objectively, I was hoping for a little bit more tonight. It seemed a little slow, but you know, it's tough when you have 2 nights. Like
Yeah,
that's pretty much 42 songs. Like you just can't kill it both nights in a row. It's hard to do. And if they did it, it'd probably be the most epic stop we've seen in a long time. And after last night being as good as it was, like I woke up this morning and said, man, that's a tough one to live up to. And I'm not complaining. It was great. Like I said, Dave had energy. The band was good. They were tight, and I'm happy I'm here. I would be remiss to say, oh, I should have stayed home. I don't know how others feel, but it was good. It was really a good show, and I appreciate you having me on. And again, I know your buddy was there taping tonight. I will say, like, good guy. Tried to buy him a beer, wasn't his thing. But those guys work hard, and if it wasn't for those dudes, and aside from XM, we wouldn't get the music we get. So I'm appreciative of the family. I really am.
yeah. And actually, we had. I don't know if you saw one of my shows the other week. We talked to Mark, who was there, and another taper, somebody mailed their taper gear cross country just so that a taper out of retirement could cover a show that if it wasn't covered, they would have missed one show all year. They did every show was taped last year. Even
Yeah.
that Mohegan show that I
Well, you
think
know what's funny? The one disappointment I had from last year's tour, night one was epic and nobody was there taping. I think that might be the one of the only shows that we didn't get a tape from.
I will no, you know what? I actually asked. It did come up. There were some issues with that tape. I'm gonna go to Dreaming Tree.
So you got
Um,
it. I'll
yeah,
catch up with you later for that because to me
yeah, we'll get that.
that was a great show. Um, look, man, it's all good, right? I mean, I'm just happy to be a part of the family. I met a
Yeah,
lot of good people here, and a lot of people reach out to me that are going to future shows at Mansfield and Hartford and SPAC, and they were like, "Hey, you're there. I'm so excited for you." And look, it's a good family to be a part of.
absolutely, and we appreciate you coming on. I'll see you in Mansfield,
All
and
right,
we
my
want to
man.
wish you safe travels back home. Thank you so much for coming on, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, take care. Peace.
Much love.
All right. So thank you, Joe, for coming on. And again, just great perspective. And even, and Joe, what I like about Joe is um, he always tries to appreciate every single show, and he goes to 8 to 10 shows minimum a year. And a lot of times that's hard when you go to all those shows. There's going to be some times where maybe you do complain. And I find the more shows I go to, the more it's like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going through all these shows, and I may just need one or two more songs. But even tonight, he's saying that tonight there's just one. He's appreciative overall. Great trip, doesn't regret it. But if he would just say his only thing is maybe one more song. I will say personally, I don't like to come tomorrow at 5. I don't. Um, it's a it had its time, but it is not a top tier to me top tier live album. Um, that's my only thing, but still, this is a solid show. I will say at the beginning of this show, I even tweeted it. I was just like, after last night, I don't know. But this is also keep in mind, last night was the first show since the break of someone being positive. We think it's Dave, right? Hasn't been confirmed. Think it's Dave. And this is a back to back. This is a back to back of shows. So a lot of times, this is just like sports, right? Opening day, because this is what I said is the opening day. Opening day, right? You'll have a team come out hot, and the next day they may throw out a clunker, or vice versa. They may throw out a clunker opening day, and then the next game they're tightened up. It's hard to go back to back after a whole week off and to keep that same energy, right? The last night was the big energy set. You had Madman's Eyes, you had 41, you had Shotgun. It's hard to do that back to back nights. And that's why a lot of times you'll see one of the shows be slower paced and one of the shows be faster paced, upbeat, right? And maybe a So Right in this set was just not feasible for the band, right? Dave just, couldn't do a So Right, couldn't do a, what else did I say? Like a Stone. Like it just was, hey, he had to pace himself. I'd rather them pace themselves and continue to build up the tour stamina as they approach my home part of my home state of Connecticut and Massachusetts right before that. Andrew says we need more Away from the World. Um, it depends on the songs to me. Like I love Broken Things in the Riff, Drunken Soldier, great. If Only to me does not translate well live. Snow Outside is a good song live. Sweet has been great live in the Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Rooftop is solid. It would be great for a show or two. I think the biggest thing that I would hope for is that we get some rotation of albums getting the spotlight. I'm okay with Away from the World getting a couple plays, right? 3 to 4 plays. I'm okay with Crash getting 4 to 5 plays. Before these crowded streets, they could play 6, 7 songs from that one night, right? Of a 2 night stand. Busted Stuff, every day too. I actually think, like I said this last night on Instagram. Every time the band wants to play "Don't Drink the Water," I think they should play "What You Are," because "What You Are" is such a great energy song. It is dark. It is deep. It's the same idea as "Don't Drink the Water," but to me, it's a better song. Don't Drink the Water kind of lags where "What You Are," the lyrics, and then he has the improv lyrics live where he says, you know, "Don't judge me, you're not God, mother bleeper," like that, or something along the lines of that. I think Every Day is the best album for this band in this current format. If I Had It All, So Right, What You Are three solid songs, right? And then Sleep to Dream Her, another great song for this band, this current band to play. So I think Every Day is underrated. We've gone 10 shows without Bayou, and we've gone 10 shows without Every Day, the actual song. I like that. I like that. Every Day is a great song, like for the crowd, but I don't need it at a show in 2022. Um, Hey, play number 36. Play it number 36 style. I don't need Every Day. I don't need I definitely do not need another Louisiana Bayou. I do not.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah, and Tony C says no pig. Yeah. To me, what I would say, and I know this isn't realistic, and listen, this is Charleston, South Carolina. It's not Saratoga Springs, New York. It's not Deer Creek. It's not Alpine. Yeah, Squirm too. I would say what would I have done if they would have let me pick the set and been realistic? I would have just thrown in a couple of these songs and then let them play some of the stuff that may not be my jam. I would throw in a Stone opener. I would throw in a Say Goodbye. I would throw in a What You Are, and maybe maybe not a Halloween, but something else like a I'll Back You Up into Two Step. That's what I would have thrown into to a show at this venue. Now, this crowd was more mainstream, so I think Two Step ending the show. That's actually a great. I think the encore was great. The encore for this show was great. Two Step closing out the show is always a great thing. And again, there's a 10:30 curfew, so they ended around 10:15. They could have played longer, perhaps, but this is what they do. They give you about 21 to 23 songs for a full band show, and that's what you get. Let's see what Mark is doing. Mark, we're gonna wait for Mark to go on. I got Pig lyrics tatted on my arm this year. Hoping to get that at Blossom next Friday. Um, if you guys saw last night, my my stream kind of cut up. I had some connectivity issues. I hope that does not happen again. But I think my computer was running a little bit warm. I made sure the temperature was a little cooler tonight in here, but it was running a little hot, and I got the blue screen of death, and my computer restarted. There's a couple of birthdays, but Big Whiskey. I want to talk about this while we're waiting for Mark. Big Whiskey turned 13 this week. Now, here's what I want to talk about specifically about Big Whiskey, and let me know what you guys think. Big Whiskey is an album that a studio album is a solid album. One thing that I'll debate about Big Whiskey is this. Why I Am is seen as this tribute to Leroy Moore, and yes, that's what Dave has said it is. But to me, Lying in the Hands of God is the bigger tribute to Leroy Moore. And here's why. First of all, Why I Am is a non traditional Dave Matthews Band song. Dave Matthews plays a Fender Strat, first of all. He's not playing an acoustic or baritone guitar. It's a rock song, which, listen, it does get the crowd going. I don't need it in a set. I don't. I'm not opposed to it in a set, but I don't need it. If they told me, "Do you want this in a set?" I'd probably say, just pick something else. But Why I Am is more about the electric guitar than it is about anything Leroy Moore does or any saxophone part. Lying in the Hands of God is a song where you have a recorded riff that Leroy recorded before his passing, and they turned it into a full-fledged song. That sax part in Lying in the Hands of God, that's part of the main riff, that is Leroy Moore playing in the studio version. And that song, from a studio perspective, has a little bit more. Tim's using the slide guitar, and it's more of an acoustic percussive mood. It's a more of an in-depth. There's so much depth to that song. Someone on Twitter says it reminds them of a Peter Gabriel song, and Peter Gabriel has these deep, intense, layered songs that get you to this intense, not necessarily really dark spot, but this very introspective, deep, movie-like feel. And that's what Lying in the Hands of God does. And to me, Lying in the Hands of God is a better tribute to Leroy Moore than Why I Am, because it represents what the band, to me, Lying in the Hands of God is what the band would sound like if Leroy Moore was still here. You would have a little bit of electric guitar. Tim would have a little bit of a slide. You would have Rashawn still, and you have Roy playing the soprano sax soulfully. Yeah, that's what you get from Lying in the Hands of God. Lying in the Hands of God is just to me, a better representation of Leroy Moore, his legacy, what the band was when he was alive, and YM is everything the band turned into because Leroy passed. Let's go full fledged rock band for a couple of years. And to me, live, I don't like that as much. I do like some of the songs. And again, a studio album, it's an amazing studio album. Front to back, Big Whiskey, it's hard to skip a song. But live, to me, I like more of the stuff from Crash, Before These Crowded Streets, even Every Day, which is more rock based. But Every Day has a What You Are still has a feeling of an old school Dave Matthews Band song, where a lot of the stuff from Big Whiskey, especially the Seven, the Shake Me Like a Monkey, um, Why I Am, that type of stuff to me is a rock band, and to me D&B is a rock band. You could put them in that category, but it's not like a heavy rock. To me, they're better when they're acoustic percussive or Dave's on the baritone. The baritone to me is a great instrument for Dave to play. Between Some Devils, So Right, What You Are, like those are great songs. Not Louisiana Bayou, but that's what I think. All right, so that was just my little tidbit about that. Also, other great things about Big Whiskey. It turned 13 this week. Big Whiskey Dive In is an amazing song. I also think that what else? Dive In. Squirm's a great song. Squirm has great lyrics. Actually, if we pull up my Twitter, if we pull up to the Dave Matthews Band, now I had a little bit of a disagreement with somebody. They didn't reply. I mean, they're blue checked and all that stuff, but they didn't reply to me. But I did have this. Here's what I said. Someone said, now this was an unpopular opinion, right? Let's pull this up here. Wesley Hall, and listen, I have nothing against him. I just disagree. He says, funny the way it is and why I am have some of the best lyrics in music of any song ever made. I said what I said. Now I said, holla, holla, holla. I said that's not right. I said I would say not even the best from the album. Squirm and Lying in the Hands of God have better lyrics. And someone said Squirm is the best song of all time. But I was like, listen, we could take this to court, and we could have the courts decide. But I think that Squirm and Lying in the Hands of God have some of the best lyrics from the album. All right, so what I want to do is bring on a recurring guest, right? He's a recurring guest, friend of the show. He is in the Dirty South. He's from the Dirty South, and it is what it is. Like I think that he's been a great contribution to this stream, and he's brought us through the whole southern part of this tour, and we're gonna bring him on now. Mark, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So tell us about this show tonight. What did you think about the show?
I didn't think that the flow was really there from the beginning and through the middle of the set. Now that I'm re-looking at the set list again, things didn't really get going until So Much to Say, energy-wise. But then you had Samurai after it, it was just one of those shows where the energy just wasn't there cohesively. I enjoyed night one a lot more, even though I did see some songs tonight that I've been wanting to see. Like, I enjoy Come On, but I need something like Drive In, Drive Out or Stone or something like that for a night two.
Yeah,
I've wanted to see Rye Whiskey, thought that was great. I finally got to scratch that off my list. 50 shows in, I've never seen it, but this was far from my favorite show I've seen this year.
that's awesome. So, congratulations on getting your first Rye Whiskey. First time in the encore of any Dave Matthews show since 2017. First time at a full band show since 2010 that Rye Whiskey has been in the encore. I looking at the set list from home. I say that the bright spot was the encore. That to see that Rye Whiskey two step encore, I thought they flipped it and reversed it. A lot of great starts to the beginning of the year, and then the encore was so. But this encore looked solid from home.
Absolutely. Where I was in the floor, there were some chants for two step, and of course they obliged and played it. I'm sure it was on the set list. I haven't seen a set list photo, but it was just cool to be a part of a crowd that was, at least where I was, chanting for two step, and it happened. And of course, that just feeds the energy and sends people into a frenzy. It was great.
Now, what did you think of the crowd? What we got from Joe? Joe talked to us last night. He said he tried to buy you a drink. Did you see it? Did you see someone thank you?
Yes. Several people will try and buy me drinks, which I don't have to have that. That's fine. I do enjoy talking to people and catching up as much as possible. And actually, like 3 or 4 people that watch your stream have come up to me while I was recording the shows this weekend in Charleston alone, which was funny because they're like, "Oh, we watched Marcus. We wanted to say hey," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh,
But
you're a
yeah,
celebrity now.
your streams are popular, is what that means.
Apparently. And but the crowd, what Joe said is he felt this crowd. Somebody asked him. He was at the side of this. He was like on the seats right next to the floor at the side stage. He said somebody thought Leroy was still alive, and he said that the crowd seemed more of a casual fan base tonight. Did you get that feeling that tonight had more casual fans than last night?
Yeah, that was a recurring theme for me today because I saw a DMB shirt before the show, and I was like, "Man, tonight should be good. We got Shotgun last night," and the guy was like, "Oh man, but they're not going to play 41 tonight." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, okay, here's the deal. That's a casual fan, but interactions like this throughout the night definitely. Last night was packed. It was a very big crowd and looked completely full to me. But tonight somehow had even more people. There were just people standing around everywhere as well as the full seats. So
Wow.
there were more people. So I don't know if they, oversold it or not. I can't. It's hard for me to judge that. But there were definitely more people tonight, even though last night looked completely full to me. So definitely more casual fans. I definitely do agree with that sentiment.
Gotcha. And my conjecture was an emerging city like Charleston, all these people moving down to South Carolina, and the regular locals, they're not going to want to go on a Friday night because they're trying to get home from work, they're trying to decompress, they don't want to go back into the city. Where Friday, the fans who are traveling, the DMB fans from Low Country and North Carolina that relocated from the Northeast, from the Midwest, they're gonna all go on Friday and Saturday. So I think Saturday had more ticket purchases. To me, my thought is a local a local fan of music who wants to do something fun in Charleston because they don't have baseball, right? They got to travel down to you in Atlanta for baseball. There's no college football. There's not even spring practice right now. So there's a little bit of a dead time for that. They can go fishing for most of the year. They could go all this. My thought was there's a lot of people in Charleston, in South Carolina, within 1 to 2 hours of the venue that said, "Hey, honey, let's go have a date night. We'll see Dave Matthews Band. I hope to get 41. I hope to get Crash." So that's my thought process on just kind of knowing people who live in some of these southern markets.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. You could tell that before the show too. So like there's a lot of stuff around the venue, around the stadium, so breweries and restaurants and such. And so I showed up at the same time today as I did yesterday, and just way more people out and about. So, you already got that vibe hours before the show. There was going to be a bigger crowd somehow, but that was possible. So pretty cool.
Gotcha. And Kermit the Frog is on here. I know you wanted me to go to the Bridgeport tonight, but I can't. I had a long night, and I'm over an hour away. So I know Kermit the Frog wanted your fellow taper who we had on here,
Zach.
Zach. Yeah, Zach. I can't get down to Bridgeport tonight. Just a late night. I got church tomorrow,
That's right.
and I got an expo to go to tomorrow for the wedding. So I gotta have a full night's sleep. But hey, Zach, what I'll say is if you ever feel free to message me because he's messaged me about a couple of special shows. If it's in Hartford, I may be able to go. So I may be able to go if it's in Hartford. So one of the other things I want to talk to you about here, Mark, is we had 5 Come Tomorrow songs on this set list. To me, I didn't look up the history, but I don't think we've had 5 Come Tomorrow songs in a set since probably 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I agree. I do regard some songs like "Can't Stop" as being from the Batson session. So I know they're on "Come Tomorrow," but I do look at some of those songs as being old school songs. Dave gave an interesting speech before where he was talking about his wife was in the studio when the
Yeah,
song had no lyrics and she was dancing around to it and all. And so the guitar, I'm not 100% on calling songs, but I was positive that was going to be "Break Free" because I thought he was telling an old story, and it ended up being and I was like, oh man, here we go with But yeah, tons of "Come Tomorrow" songs. I do like "Come On, Come On." A lot of people say it doesn't really do much live. I'll take it just because it's not played very much. I like the song. I would like to see "Virginia in the Rain," whether it's played full band. A lot of people don't like it full band. That's fine. But the Dave and Tim or Dave solo version of "Virginia in the Rain" is great. So I'd like to see that song. But, um, if I could pick an album to have 5 songs off of, it would not be "Come Tomorrow."
yeah, that's what I think is. I would pick another album, but like you said, there's great perspective in the fact that you got Come On, Come On, and yeah, Joe told us about that story that his wife he was in the studio. I mean, typically she was. The interesting thing is, she every other show, every other album, she was busy with the kids or busy
Right.
with her life. But at the time that Come Tomorrow came out, she had 2 high school twins and a son who now was a little bit more independent, probably could go, So she probably got access to be able to go to the studio in a way that maybe she wasn't able to do when she had
Right.
kids and even, whatever she does in her own life with work or if she does work, keeping things ready at home, which we salute to all the spouses of celebrities like this, male or female, that have to hold down the fort or hold down the house while their spouse goes out on tour. But that's pretty cool that she was in the studio while it was just the instrumental, and then it inspired the lyrics to be about her.
Yeah. Don't. Well, you can't quote me on this, but I think I saw a show last year or in 2019. I'm pretty sure it was last year. It could have been 2019. Dave talked about she was written in the studio in LA. They were recorded in the studio in LA at least. And so I think Dave's wife must have been in LA with him. I think he told the story. I think it's been a while, but he said like he and Rashawn were in LA doing it with whatever the producer was. So I thought that was interesting because the way they do studio sessions now, it's never an away from the world full band session anymore. It's just fly around, record a song here or there, and then if you feel like putting out an album, you can put out an album. But if not, screw it. But it's just these random studio sessions around the U.S.
All right, and so the other thing, we're gonna step away from the music here. Did you actually listen to the podcast Matt Norlander put out this weekend?
No, I did not even know he put one out. Oh, Dave just drove by me. Wow. Okay, the tour bus just drove by this parking lot I'm in.
Wow.
No, I didn't listen to
Hey,
the podcast.
go grab Dave. Hey, get him on.
Yeah, yes, that'd be funny.
So
Um,
I'm gonna put this up. I don't know if you can see it,
yeah, I can see
but
it.
okay. So this is
Oh, the
something.
Lily White Sessions thing. Yeah, I sent it to Zach, and I actually haven't had a time to listen to it. Is it good?
Okay. So I think it's great because it provides context on the lack of technology and the lack of acoustics in at Haunted Hollows in 1999, 2000, right?
Oh,
So this is let me just put this up full screen. People can see this. Um, this is mattnorlander.com, and I want to put his website up on here because it's going to give you access if you don't have iTunes or an Apple or Apple Podcast or an Apple phone. This will give you his full episode right here on his actual page. I don't want to play it. I want you guys to listen to it. I want you guys to. Now, this is part one, and he's going to talk to one of the sound engineers from the actual, one of the sound engineers from the Lily White sessions, who also happened to be, he was also part of the Everyday sessions. He was hired for that. And what I'll say is, you guys need to check out this podcast. It'll give you a different perspective on potentially why the Lily White sessions was not actually, a successful recording session. So I'll just say that the link is in the chat. If I can remember, I'll put the links in the description. But I want everyone to watch this, and then there's going to be a part two this upcoming week with Steve Lillywhite. So,
nice.
so Matt Norlander sat down with Steve Lillywhite and got him to talk about these sessions, and we have not gotten a lot from Lillywhite over the years about this. So this is a groundbreaking. As we look to the future of the current tour, we also need to look back at this because we're going to get some more context about these sessions. To me, I think Big Eye Fish from this session is one of the best recordings ever from this band. That Big Eyed Fish, Leroy Moore and Boyd Tinsley are going to be, or not going to be, they were at the time, they were just amazing in that song. The rawness was not captured in the Busted Stuff sessions like it was in Lily White sessions for that Big Eyed Fish.
I agree, huge. I mean, the Lily White Big Eyed Fish is really something, and I love the intro. It's different on Busted Stuff, but the OG Lily White intro to that song is great.
Yeah. And then Boyd Tinsley, for those of you guys who want to check him out, um, he's going to be playing tomorrow. Okay, so let's see if we can get. Let's see. We got to go back to his. Okay, so this is what he said. And here, of course, everyone has the picture with Boyd that they post. I want to let you guys know that this Sunday at 9 o'clock on my YouTube channel, I will show my film Faces in the Mirror for its 10-year anniversary. It's a great movie and features music by Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds, Stefan Lassard. Yeah, I may have read this wrong. He's gonna show his documentary Faces in the Mirror. It's been 10 years since it came out, 2012, and so if you guys want to watch that and chat with Boyd Tinsley, that is something else you can do. Let's see, yeah, people always have pictures of Boyd and the love. Hope all is well. So that's just another kind of housekeeping thing. But again, if you have not heard it, and I see Tony C says in the chat, Lily White is better than Busted Stuff. I agree. But again, I want you guys to watch the podcast or listen to the podcast. Now you go to Records and Riff, and again, you can play it here. He also had an episode about the podcast. The iPod. The iPod is no longer in production, and I'm a little bit sad because I would rather have an iPod, even if it's a smart iPod, than my actual phone while I run. But the iPod that was back on May 21st. But I want you guys to check this out. Episode 23, the Lily White Sessions Part 1, June 1st is when it came out, and I was glad to listen to this. It's a great thing. Any final thoughts, Mark, about your time in Charleston?
Yeah. Let's. I'm very excited for Jacksonville, but to close out tonight, Stefan's birthday. I'm just shocked that maybe I've listened to too much Piedmont Park lately. I'm just shocked that they didn't do a happy birthday to Stefan in the middle of the show. Um, they didn't really put anything like Crush in there. It would have been cool to open with Crush for once, or play Dreaming Tree in the middle because that's one of my favorite songs, but it's also one of Stefan's best songs. There's really no big nod to Stefan on his birthday.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of strange because they obviously don't play it. I don't know the stats, but I don't think they play on Stefan's birthday almost ever. So I
I
thought they should
looked
have
it
done
up
something.
and we have it here. So here's the thing. Last year on his birthday, Dave did a solo performance. 2017 is Dave and Tim at CMAC. 2010 was the last time they played on his birthday. That was Saratoga Springs, New York. And
Wow.
then 2008 and 2005 and then 2001 and 2009 and 96 and 93. They have not played on his birthday that frequently over the years, and it has been over a decade since they had a show on his birthday, Saratoga Springs, New York. Now, what they did on his birthday in 2010, they had a fish tender, they had YIM to 7, Dancing Nancy's Into Funny the Way It Is, Kit Kat Jam was played the second of 4 that year. The only dream girl of the tour in 2010. This is at SPAC. You do have a crush, right? And then you do have later in the set, you have a partial recently, and you have a last stop tease into So Right into Aunt Marching for the encore. So it's the first time Dream Girl had been played in 3 years. It hadn't been played since 2007, and it was played in 2010. It was played once that year. So that's a birthday show. To me, this is a birthday show.
Right.
2010, and obviously it was. You got to think of the environment. It's SPAC. It's not Charleston, so that's another big factor, right? They did play a "Shake Me Like a Monkey" as a set closer, which actually I guess isn't a bad set closer if you have a "So Right" in the encore. So I mean, this is it's interesting to see that, and yeah, so they don't play that much, but no recognition of his birthday. Did you see any happy birthday chants? Did you see any sort of like signage or anyone drawn on a poster to
Yeah, I
sing
saw
happy birthday?
two posters for Stefan's birthday, but Dave mentioned it, but he was just like, I forgot what he said. It said something like, "I made sure to dress up nice for Stefan's birthday," and Stefan said I look good, and that was it. And I was like, "We're
Oh,
not even gonna sing him happy birthday." Like, it's different if it's someone like Buddy or Jeff or something, but like Stefan, like I think that would be cool to at least recognize.
gotcha. And let's talk about the poster as well. I forgot to go over that. So, did the posters sell out today?
Yes, both shows this weekend it sold out, and it has not done that at every show that I've seen this year, obviously. But both shows, the poster was gone by the middle of the show when I find my one or two songs of the show to take a tour of the venue. So they were gone.
Okay, so these were two shows that sold out. Interesting, middle of the show, so it wasn't like it sold out um, at the like like right as an hour into the doors opening. Okay, so that's interesting. And what do you think of the poster tonight? We have it up here. It looks a little more abstract, even though it's a captain. It looks like it's a little more abstract.
It's fine. Not terribly huge fan of either Charleston poster. Last year I bought every single poster of the shows I saw, and then
Wow.
in the off season was like, man, like I don't love a lot of these. I'll probably get rid of some of them, and so now I'm only buying the ones that I love, or if it's a super significant show. Like I bought Atlanta's, and I usually don't always buy Atlanta, but it was my 50th show. But then, other than that, I only buy them if I really like them, and I didn't buy either one of these.
Okay, and that's how I am. I I you gotta impress me. I'm not a poster pimp. All right, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't just trying to pick up. I ain't trying to save every poster. And I love posters. Like I said, there's some back here. I got posters in front of me. Um, but I really have to be wowed by a poster for me to buy it. Like I gotta have, it's really gotta have something special or connect to me personally. Like I remember the Mohegan one. It had the Whalers logo. It had pizza, which is our the best pizza. If you ever come to Connecticut, I'll bring you around to the best pizza places in the country. I'll tell
I
you
would
that.
love to. Are you going to the Dave and Tim show up there?
Yes, sound on sound.
So is it on one of the other taper John tonight? Who, by the way, he's awesome. If you've never met him, really great guy. He was telling me that festival's like, if it's not on the water, it's really close to the water.
Yeah, so Seaside Park is right on Long Island Sound. That's why it's called Sound on Sound. So
Uh
it's gonna be right on the now the stage. I don't know where the stage is gonna be, but you'll be able to walk to the waterfront.
got it.
There's actually a what's it called? You can take ships across Long Island Sound to upstate New York. So you can take those boats. You can even take your car on it on the ferry. That's what it is. They have a ferry station about a mile from where the gates are going to be at this venue.
That's cool.
So and then you also get the breeze. You get the nice breeze. Are you going to Sound on Sound?
Considering it, let's see how the rest of things play. Dave and Tim added another show after that, and then
Yeah, Ocean City.
I always thought they were going to add Charlottesville in last year, and they didn't. So I don't know if a new album's going to happen at all, or what happens in the fall. But we'll take a look.
Yeah, Charlottesville is interesting because it is the hometown of the band, but they've had the ticket prices for Charlottesville. They've actually been some of the easier. Now I'm talking uppers and some lowers that aren't primo lowers. You can get a really decent price Seaville ticket the day before the show or the day of the show, and a lot of that's because it's really only been the winter tour. It was in 2016 a spring stop, and that was a harder ticket to get. But when they played Charlottesville in 2018, there were $2-3 tickets on StubHub,
Jeez,
and that was the upper. And some of that is you got a couple of factors. First off, it's the holiday season, and Charlottesville is about an hour and a half from DC. And if it snows, if it's bad weather, trying to fly in and drive, right, fly into DC and drive, or getting a flight to Charlottesville, um, it's hard. So, and people are already tapped out of money. So it's something where the diehards drive, but when the diehards drive to shows, you're going to see that demand. The diehards don't want to sit in the upper. So there
right,
were a lot of cheap tickets. There were reports John Dix was there in 2018, and he said, the uppers were, it was interesting.
dude.
So
Where is John Dix at, man? I haven't seen him in a few shows. I haven't seen him since Austin. Where, is he going to
I would,
Deer Creek next?
he's going to be at Deer Creek in Alpine. So it'll be at those
Got
shows.
it.
Talk to him though, check in on it because he'll be able to tell you kind of some stuff. But he's kind of right now he's going to be going back on tour at Deer Creek. But if you message him directly, he'll be able to tell just kind of say what why some of the things there on that
Perfect.
end. But he's well. Everything is well with him, and he'll be back with us in Deer Creek. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Um, it'll be interesting to see a 2 night stand in the middle of the week coming up. Jacksonville are going to be probably my last two shows for a while, and then take some time off. But I've never seen a 2 night stand in the middle coming up, so let's see how those shows get treated and if they're as good or if they're better than Charleston.
Yeah, it's interesting. My first midweek 2 night stand was Guilford, New Hampshire this past year, and there were some great things, but night two didn't have that SPAC feel of like or that gorge feel of the weekend. It still was a great show. Listen, Guilford was amazing, but Guilford did not have. It just was. It just seemed like it was one or two songs away from like the weekend set list of like one or two rare songs. So, but the first night of Guilford was amazing. You never know opener. The Rolling Stones tribute, which I was able to actually capture on video. Um, that was the day that Charlie Watts had passed away. But Yeah, midweeks are interesting, but hey, we really don't know. And I still think I think I jumped the gun last night about the on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. I tagged you in there. I was like, I told y'all, Shotgun is back. Da, 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 da. I think I jumped the gun, but the band's gonna ease into this second 2 night stand, and we'll really see what they're made of as they get to the Northeast. That's what I think.
Right. Sounds good. Well, always good talking to you. We'll reconnect after Jacksonville. Should have great service there, being in the city. So that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, and obviously Mr. Khan, uh, the Jaguars owner, put a lot of money into the Daly's place, so there better be good reception. Plus, the taxpayers paid a lot of money.
That's right. It connect. So it shares an entry point, one of the actual stadium entry points and concourses with the stadium. So that'll be cool.
Wow,
It's literally like it's not just that it touches the stadium; it's like part of the
connect.
stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another topic for another day. This is a growing trend with sports venues. We look at Fenway, and one of our buddies, Stupid Almanac, who has connections with Fenway and helps with certain concerts there. Uh, Fenway has an attached new venue where like Bruno Mars is going to be playing there.
Whoa.
This is a like a small like couple thousand seat venue, but they're to promote it. They have Bruno Mars, who's going to be playing there. A couple other big acts I think uh, that are going to be there, and more to come. But it's attached to Fenway Park. So it's an interesting trend. There's more. I know. Uh, I don't want to get too much into the Braves because I think they screwed over Cobb County, the taxpayers. But the Braves have they have the Battery and they have some business stuff there. So there's a lot of sports venues that are trying to get tied. They're trying to get music venues attached or literally right down the street from the venue.
Oh yeah, the Roxy is like 4.5 steps from the gate to the stadium at the Battery. So that's cool.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Nice. All right. Well, hey, have a good rest of your night, Mark, and thank you for being on. Take care.
You too. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Peace. All right. I want to get to this Tony C. So here's the thing. This is something that I've noticed, and it's the I would love for a captain to have been played for everyone down there in Charleston. When there's a tour poster that has something, like for instance, right? If there is a Methane had an astronaut or a spaceman for Guilford Night 2. There was no spaceman played, right? You may see like there was a clock for Atlanta, I believe that was the one with the clock and the motorcycle. They didn't play Smoothie Wise, they didn't play the Stone, right? Turn back the clock, do it all over again. Just because you get a character on a poster, actually, to me, when I've seen a character on a poster that's tied to a song, I feel like it's less likely you're gonna get that song. It's less likely you're gonna get that song ever on like if you see a spaceman. There's been a couple space like Huntsville had that. You think I should be on the next poster? We'll see. Hey, come on, let's get that happening. It's just me. Like right now, it's like my picture. Like this is what it is. This is the next poster. It's literally like it's like right here, right here. Oh, you guys can't see my hand. Oh, you guys can't see it. Right here. It'll be like it says Dave Matthews Band. Whatever the venue is. Da 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 da. And then like you could have a picture of a poster in the bottom right of it. That'd be cool if they had me as a poster, and it's like they have me live streaming the post show stream. Andrew, here's my thing about the 20-minute two steps. I think they're too long. And listen, I'm somebody who goes to jam band shows and I've listened to other jam bands play a song for 25 minutes, right? 20 like my thing with the 20-minute two steps is they're like they don't get to the point. If you look at the two step from Red Rocks, the Red Rocks 95 two step, look at the two step from Giant Stadium, right? In the pouring rain. That's on the Best of What's Around Volume 1. The best two steps are about 10 to 12 minutes And even if it's 7 to 8 minutes, you can still have a good two step because when you get to 20 minutes, it just goes on and there's not enough energy. See, the thing about a seek up can be 20 minutes and still be great. But to me, and this is just my opinion, right? And I'm not saying you're wrong if you're right to your opinion. I don't like I don't like a 20-minute two step because there's a lot of redundant stuff done. Now, if you have a guest, if you have a Bella Fleck and a Victor Wooten hop on that song, or you have a guest violin player pop on two step, right? Then I think it could be 20 minutes. But even so, a 15-minute version is better. To me, two step is a wonderful, epic song, but it really only needs to be about 10 minutes. Condense it, bring the best part to the jam, and call it a day. We don't need Tim Reynolds playing 45 minutes on two step solo. Get his solo down to, to 2 to 3 minutes, or even just 2 minutes, and then do something else. Let Carter do his drums. So that's how I feel. But there are people that love those 20-minute two steps, and to me, the best two step has to have Leroy Moore. Like to me, you have to have Leroy Moore. You have to have Boy Tinsley, and you have to have Boy Tinsley like on a good day, right? He had his ups and downs, but Justin says he's like, yeah, I like the seek up from last night because it was not a shouting match at the beginning. I thought it was a really good seek up. Um, but yeah, it's interesting how some people like, and then there's nothing wrong with it. Some people like those 20-minute two steps, some people don't. Um, but I'm one of those people who likes, I think the best two steps are about, they could be 10 to 12 minutes versus a 20-minute version because, again, it's condensed. Sometimes less is more. Less is Leroy Moore. I feel like Spaceman, speaking of Big Whiskey, I think Spaceman is a huge waste of time when it's 9 minutes. Spaceman should be 5 minutes. You don't need a 9 minute Spaceman or 4 minutes. Speed it up and make it 4 minutes. It's a good song on the album, but you can't hear Dave's guitar. I think they're doing a better job. I'm able to hear Dave's, like 2021, I heard Dave's guitar more. But there is a lot going on, right? There is a lot going on in two steps. Sometimes when they get to the full crescendo of their volume, you don't hear it as much. So it is what it is. So that's what it is. I did do this. Speaking of this, some of you guys may know this. Some of you guys may know this here. I Come on came on. So this is another version of Come On. Come On. Let's see if we can play it.
I probably really started.
And Mark, if you want to be a guest. Oh, let me do it on Twitter because it's better on Twitter. Let's see. Some of you guys may know, if you guys know the Von Bodies, this is a version of the Von Bodies. So I said, imagine if Come On was played. It's your boy Concertviz 34 in concert. That was your boy. And then I got down a rabbit hole of rock songs I learned on guitar. Happy birthday to this Jim. This is a classic Blink 182 song that turned 23 this week called What's My Age Again. Marcus shreds like paper. Thank you. I had some mistakes in there, but I didn't feel like recording it again. But yeah, I used to be, I listened to a lot of rock music. Oh, by the way, This was the scene last night. I listen. I'm sorry. I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't understand why people leave behind beer cans in the pit for a band and a fan base that we claim to all love the environment. Like it's ridiculous when I see this. Like to me, this is not cool. This is not cool. Um, Somebody should like. Here's my thing. All right, you buy this expensive drink. Uh, Take off my pants and jacket. That's another great album. Although that's not 23. Enema of the State is 23. But I've been to what, how many Blink shows? I think I've been to two Blink shows. Once you see Blink 182, you've seen them, but they're a great show. It's a great show. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun show. But once you see like if you see two Blink 182 shows, you've seen everything. They don't Their set lists aren't really varied. Their newer album is I, so I didn't really see them when they had California and Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio. But anyway, how do people leave all this trash behind? Actually, this isn't as bad. I've seen worse. So I guess it's a little better than the average, and maybe they had some of it trashed up. But how do you have a drink? You buy a beer can, and then maybe you buy a second one. Why don't you just hold on to it until after the show and put it in a trash can or recycling bin? Right? Why do people have to leave stuff on the floor for people to pick up? Like it's ridiculous. Now I get the lawn because the lawn is you always have people that are just crazy. But the pit, you're in the general admission pit. You're probably a warehouse member or a diehard fan. Why can't you just take that can and put it in the recycling bin after the show, right? Or if you go for a bathroom break, if you're in the back of the pit, especially, there's trash cans right there. Look at the trash cans. Yeah, people are lazy and they know someone else will pick it. Yeah, I just it's wild to me. I don't get it, but I guess I do get it because people are lazy. That's what it comes down to. People are lazy. All right, so for Jacksonville, we got some shows coming up here. I will be on stream. If you are going to the shows, if you're watching this, definitely tune in. Also, thank you. Listen, I would love for everyone to hit the like button. I know not everyone does that. I know some people watch this at work. Some people watch the replay. Mark alluded to it in his little bit here, but there's a lot of people that don't comment, and that's fine. I really encourage people to comment, like, and subscribe. There's a lot of people that don't have any comments that aren't in the chat, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. People have different levels of participation, but everyone that's watching these videos, thank you to you. You guys are the real MVPs. And also, all the guests that come on, this show does not run without an audience, and it does not run without guests that come on and tell us about the show. I'm only going to 8 shows this year. Well, only though. The most I've ever done is 10. So, or am I going to 9? Because sound don't sound technically is 9, right? But anyway, the point is, I need people to tell me how the shows are. Otherwise, I'm sitting here, and I've done this before. I did it where I just talk about the show from the glance. But having people call in after the show that's what makes this show. So thank you to those of you who watch these videos, and you may not comment. Right, the last video I'm at like 300 people, and that's all I want. I don't need 3 million people. I don't think there are 3 million people that would be interested in this, but the fact that we have 11 people on watching right now on YouTube, there's sometimes it gets up to 15. I love this because I started this back up. YouTube changed the regulations. I used to stream off my phone, but they said you can't stream off your phone to get enough subscribers. You can't, you know, you have restrictions on live streaming if you're not, you don't have 1,000 subscribers. I'm working to get to 1,000, but I appreciate you guys because I just tried to create a space where you could hear from fans of different perspectives, not an echo chamber. Not everyone's going to have the same views as me, right? We just looked on the chat, and some people like 20-minute two steps, some people don't, right? If everyone's opinion matters, unless you're just being straight up mean and outright, disrespectful to the debate. But you can complain like I do about Rashawn. You may not like Tim. You may not be a fan of Buddy on the Oregon. This is a space, as long as we're respectful to the actual people and we're not going after their family, like that's not cool. Or going after the color of their skin or whatever they have, whatever makes differentiate them from you. We should not be attacking that. But I really, again, I cannot say it enough. You guys are awesome. Again, people who just watch this video, you don't do anything. You don't hit the like button, but please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah, Tim C DC. I joke about that. Um, so listen, I cannot thank you guys enough. There's been a lot of support. I'm overwhelmed. I've met so many great people in real life, and I've met so many great people on social media and had conversations with them. You know, connecting with some DMB fans for some of the shows I'm going to. And again, I can't say it enough. Thank you guys for all that you guys do to support this because I just wanted to create a space for us to have a post game show, right? You see the NBA finals that are going on, the NHL conference finals are going on. And what do people do? They after the game, there's a certain percentage of the fan base of sports that goes on to these post games and they listen to analysts and various people give their views. They talk to people, they interview players from the locker room up after the game, after full emotions are let out. So that's just what I'm trying to create here to give my opinions. I've also learned to be more optimistic and be appreciative of what the band does. I came in a couple of years ago and I just was hating on whatever. If there wasn't a bunch of rare stuff, I was just hating on sets, and I've grown and evolved myself. Um, Andrew says someone needs to cut Buddy's organ, organ cable. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the organ, but I think Buddy's amazing, and I think everyone's starting to see that over time. People are seeing this, so that there's more and more Buddy love, and he's been off the organ more, so it's been a great thing. So, um, what should we do? So I'm gonna end the show, but I'll be next show is it'll be Monday, June 6th. So I'll be on Monday and Tuesday. I'll be on after those shows. Tuesday will be interesting because I have to get up early Wednesday. But listen, I'm trying to do this for you guys. We'll have we'll at least have Mark. But again, if you are going to other shows, let us know. Yeah, Buddy's from Arizona. He's from the Phoenix metropolitan area, greater Phoenix area. And go Celtics. No, let's go Warriors. Let's go Celtics. Nah. Let's go Warriors. And I don't like the Warriors, but I don't root for any teams in the city limits of Boston. I have a Patriots thing up there. I actually like the Patriots. Oh, I hit my mic. Almost my funny bone almost hit my mic. But I love the Patriots for just various reasons. Another story for another day. But I don't root for any teams in the Boston city limits. I love the rivalry. I go there. I go to Bruins games for Flyers Bruins. I've been to Celtics Sixers. I'm a Sixers fan and a Flyers fan. And I go to Yankees Red Sox every year. I actually know Fenway better than most Red Sox fans. I also used to work at StubHub, so we used to be able to see, we had to, replace tickets in different sections. But I know Fenway very, very well. I've been going every year outside of the pandemic 2020 year, every year since 2000 and I believe 11, the fall of 2011 forward. I've been going to games. I went to the Fenway tour years ago as a kid. Once they had renovated the Green Monster, I went on the tour in the mid 2000s. So I love Fenway. I love the Yankees, but I love Fenway, and I love the rivalry. So anyway, let's go Warriors, right? Um, let's end here with. Oh, what we'll do. We'll bust out a basket session. Um, here. Let's bust out a basket session and get you guys out of here really, really quickly. Where is it? And again, I cannot thank you guys enough for the In with the trash. Yeah. Oh, also, here, well, thank you for watching. Clean up your trash at community trash. There we go. There we go. This is what you got. Well, we'll go with Drive Me Away. This is a Batson session song, Drive Me Away. It's your boy Conservist 34. Peace out. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Walking down the garden path, I heard a poppin' hurried in, and I saw you there. I dropped my bags. Little baby love, what have you done? Off the phone the cops came and tying up a few loose ends. Somebody drive me away. It's too late for talking now. So drive me away. I don't feel upside down. Somebody drive me away. I wish I could dance up here. Drive me away. Oh, let me stay there. Remember how you used to play. Remember how you used to run. Baby, did you forget how to run away? I don't think I could even take a breath. Somebody drive me away. It's too late for talking now. Somebody drive me away. How I feel inside out. Somebody drive me away. I swear I can't breathe. Drive me away. Say, somebody wake me up. I must be sleeping. Somebody tell me I'm dreaming. Sleep. Drive me away. It's too late for talking now. Somebody drive me away. Upside down and inside out. Drive me away. Feel like my skin is coming off. Drive me away. Swear my heart is getting out. Somebody drive me away. I don't even know who's right. Drive me away. I can't bear thinking out. Drive me away. I think tomorrow's after now. Drive me Convict music.